you guys ready?
Yeah. Let's do this.
Let's do this.
Today's episode of the Cantina is brought to you by Grow Generation. Whether you're at the Death Star or the Senate, they have everything you need to grow right where you are. More from them later in the episode.
Welcome to a galaxy far, far away. Here at the Cantina Podcast, we provide top shelf service, including rumors, leaks, news, and reviews. Come in, order a Loman Ale, and remember, no droids allowed.
Yeah, I'm racking my brain here because that's an EU reference. The Loman Ale or Lomin Ale. People pronounce things differently when they read a word, and you don't have a show or someone to tell you that you've been pronouncing it wrong. I has that been said in canon anywhere? Like said out loud? I can't remember.
No.
Yeah, I didn't know if it would be mentioned in one of the cartoons or something.
I've never come across it. I've missed it. Yeah, I just get a cartoon talking about alcohol. Yeah, none of them seem to drink in the cartoons or anything like that. You know what I mean? And, you know, when they go to a cantina or whatever it is. So, nah.
Yeah, there was another one, a Carillion whiskey called, what was it? Wyvern's Reserve, I think is the name of it. Wedge was big on it. It was like their what's the really expensive Johnny Walker? The blue,
like Johnny Walker
Blue Label,
Label or something. I think
it was like
Blue Label.
Yeah, it was like when you talk about that in Star Wars EU. But anyways, guys, welcome to the Cantina. It's LRM Online's Genreverse Podcast Network's only, but still top tier, premier, and bestest all around Star Wars podcast on the internet. You got your pilot and co-pilot in myself and Cam, who is back from vacation. What's up, buddy?
Nothing much. Yeah. Good to be back.
And we've, given him the title of Navigator. He's the one that's always feeding us the data on where we need to go with the show anyways. Shockey, what's up, bud?
Not too much. Just call me C-3PO from here on out.
So, man, there was actually a kind of semi-exciting night/morning yesterday, or the night before, and yesterday morning, Thursday morning. Got to see some news shots over our Slack channel while I was doing the daily show, which, if you're watching us on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button and follow us, share us with some friends and family, and check out our daily Cup of Genre show every Monday through Friday. Dude, like, some of the stuff we already kind of figured out ourselves, but some of it's kind of a big deal. Mike, you kind of gave it out, so why don't you give us a rundown of what you found out yesterday, and what are we going to talk about today?
Well, one has been announced, and it's official that that Disney Plus is going to have a special edition episode of Disney Gallery, making of The Mandalorian, where it's going to focus 100% on the reanimation or recreation of Luke Skywalker, in bringing him back for that last final scene in Mando season 2. And so that was something that a lot of people have been wondering about. How were they able to put that all together, the secrecy behind it and everything. And so we're finally going to get the official breakdown from that. And I think that comes out in August. I'll look it up. So that'll be its own special episode there. The other one, so this is tough. It was out for like maybe 30 minutes and then got shot down real quick, and I didn't get like an image of it, and it's all just now hearsay, is that Bad Batch is going to have a season 2, or Bad Batch is, there's a heavy lean toward of season 2. Some toy reps, it seems like everything's being leaked out on the internet like crazy now. With some toy reps put some descriptions and some images of things that, basically lining up for the next season of the Bad Batch. And sometimes it comes true, sometimes it doesn't. I've seen it where Star Wars toys, where they have it like Attack of the Clones type deal and stuff, and it doesn't. There are just toys that come out that never ever were
it's nothing
shown
new. It's just old stuff rehashed type.
Yeah,
things,
some some things.
Or sometimes they create toy lines, which the toy makers
just
come
a toy,
up with
right?
stuff as well. Yeah,
they have a little bit of freedom there. So that was a big jump on that for about an hour, and then it kind of went away. And so, but there's now this big rumble of like, okay, we're definitely gonna get a season 2 of Bad Batch. And if you've watched it, I think we are. I mean, it's a very slow burn in this first season.
Yeah.
And so I definitely think that there's still more to the story.
I never even considered that there wouldn't be a season 2 of the Bad Batch. It never felt that this was going to be a one and done show, because some of the threads that they're pulling on here, you feel like are going to take a long time to get pulled out. You and I have spoken about this before with Echo and all that sort of stuff, so while there's going to be some stuff that will get resolved at the end of season 1, I absolutely think it could go for 2 or 3 seasons easily, maybe even more.
Yeah, maybe.
I think 2 to 3 seasons is what we're looking at there. I'm sorry, go ahead, Kyle.
I was going to say, do you guys think there would be a time jump, or no? Is it going to be a pretty close-knit story that you think? What you could tell from the setup at the end, if there is indeed a season 2?
Wait, you go first.
I don't think there'll be a time jump. I think it's pretty streamlined. There's in the animated world, in the Clone Wars, there really wasn't a time jump there. Rebels, maybe a time jump in the very, very end, the prologue or the the epilogue of the show. There theoretically is a time jump,
right? Because we don't quite know when and where Ahsoka is at that walking into the temple thing.
We kind of saw Ezra naturally grow up rather than go from being a little kid to kind of a young adult, if you like. We kind of saw that process more naturally from sort of season to season with the characters in Rebels. And for me, this won't go to where Rebels starts, which is about, you're looking about 8 or 9 years out at the moment from where Rebels starts, which is around about the kind of when Obi-Wan Kenobi set. And for me, they would. This will be the natural lead into that show, but I think they'll cut it. They won't go straight from one into the other, because we saw Hera there in the most recent episode, and she's not a kid, but she's not quite the Hera that we met in Rebels yet. Do you know what I mean? It's as I say, at the age which is a kind of, I would say, adolescent she's playing in the Bad Batch, to then being a kind of full adult, by the time Rebels comes around, with a lot more experience, and she's a pilot and everything like that. I just can't see them kind of jumping too far ahead, no.
That, it kind of brings up that whole point. We often talk about, we love the OT and OT characters, but all 3 of us are pretty excited to go see something we haven't seen before. Characters with names that we've never heard of, that don't know who the fuck a Skywalker is within a few hundred years, But what do you think about them doing yet another, putting resources on yet another story set between 3 and 4 or 2 and 3, depending, I guess, on which animated project we're talking about. Doing yet another instead of a new, different animated project. Maybe even looking at potentially producing some animated projects for us, the 35 to 40-year-olds, 42.
Yeah, but what would they give you? I mean, so you'd need to have someone come out with just a completely brand new concept. Do you want to introduce a brand new era within an animated show, though, or is it better to leave that for sort of live action and then
self-contained, one-off, little 4 to 6 episode things, something.
They're hard to keep,
but I think that's what we're getting with Star Wars Visions. I think that's what. I think we're getting that with Star Wars Visions,
because they're not canon.
But
that's what, because
it's for your older audience. Right.
How do you let people just do whatever they want with a Vision and stick to canon completely? That's the tricky part. So that's why Visions is just, go and have fun.
It's
you know,
fun, yeah.
basically go and do what you do.
Right.
And you know, it would be enjoyable for that point of view. But if you were talking about going and starting a new era, well, if that becomes popular, then you know, Star Wars needs to make sure that ties in and everything. It's just a lot more complicated than it sounds, I think.
I just want one-off stories somewhere
that we kind of got it with Star Wars Resistance, and that failed.
But it wasn't for us. That was really kiddish. I watched the first 2 episodes.
Yeah,
and it was awfully.
What would you say is animated for us? Because I mean, I'm not an anime fan like you are. Animation in itself is an instant, you know, downgrade for me. It's a thumbs down whenever I start. And I watch Rebels and I watch the Clone Wars and all that because I'm a Star Wars fan, but I'm not really into animation.
And I'm not. When I say for us, I don't mean that it has to be pushing any limits. It could be PG all freaking day, but it needs to be aimed at the Star Wars stories that, and not characters, but style that we've been wanting. The fan fictions we made up in our heads, the stories that inspired the games and comics that we played. And like I said, it doesn't even have to be a new era. It could literally just be a single, you know, just like they did with the EU when they did like the Rogue Squadron books, and then when they did Han Solo trilogy, the Lando, things like that.
Yeah,
but not
those
big
were all
names,
still,
not the big characters.
You know, based on, you know, everything all the big stories that they've done that led up to that point, and they were still based on everything
and all
that
that's
happened
there
in the movies being canon. You know, if you're going off into a brand new era, that's a little bit different from, I think, pulling off a Rogue Squadron book, for example, because you've got the PCs there.
Yeah, but isn't Mando though like that era that we're talking about, like what we want, because it's post Return of the Jedi? And we don't know really what. I mean, granted, we know that the First Order comes about, but we really
it's a different era than what they've given us before.
Yeah,
a little bit. It's just we're still. I mean, hell, we're talking about Luke Skywalker, you know, as well still, and that's the thing is, it's like I wouldn't mind
small
hearing
connective tissue to
and I don't mind like in episode 7 when she's like, oh, the Jedi were real, and it's like, yeah, fucking Luke's only been gone for a few fucking calm down, fucking who can't write, Terrio or Abrams or whoever. Anyways, I'm not necessarily, you know, that type of connective tissue is fine. It's just I'm just tired of seeing the same old, which we all know why it's happening because it sells, and I'm not begrudging the people that
without
that
a doubt it does sell.
Yeah, I'm not begrudging people for liking it. I'm wondering why is it that so many properties seem to be willing to tickle two fancies, while with Star Wars they're just like, no, we're gonna do this and everyone get on this train or get out.
Because I think they're scared.
That could
ultimately
be,
they're scared of
that's
failure,
causing them almost as many issues as making making no choices, almost as bad as making bad choices, sometimes worse.
The last time they branched out 30 years away from when that happened, we get sequel trilogy.
Right.
That's that. But,
so I think the Clone Wars era and the toys and stuff is the young generation's version of G.I. Joe.
I can see that. Absolutely.
I mean, think of it like when we were kids, it was it sells. It sells in the toy market. You know, there's Rex, there's Cody,
different colors, so you can collect them all.
Fives, exactly. They sell toys, they sell video games that way, comic books that way. It's the younger generation's version of our G.I. Joe growing up, and and collecting each little individual action figure and how each one was different, from Snake Eyes, the different G.I. Joes, and having that whole collection and stuff. So I think if I'm in charge of Lucasfilm, if that's still turning out money for me,
I'm
sure enough. So look, you get Bad Batch, a whole new group of clones, different armor, different look to them. So now you can make new toys, and the new version of those toys.
That's exactly why they made new sister planet Ithorians with their hammerhead shape somewhere else. And I was like, what the what is that?
Power Rangers does the same thing over and over again. So I mean, I get it. It's as an adult, let's see something else, and I think we'll get that, in the years to come with the Acolyte and stuff. But in a sense, we see that there really isn't a big push for the High Republic in the young generation, right? The High Republic comic books, they did well on launch, but they're starting to temper off. The books,
have been very hit or miss with the mainline novels getting the most notoriety, but
because what was it? Was it last week we were talking about Shadows of the Empire? How that that whole couple months where it was books, comic books, toys, video game was the best marketing plan ever for a non-movie to come out and stuff, and we're not seeing that with the High Republic. The amount of push and popularity for Shadows of the Empire, I don't think we'll ever see it again. So, and I think that's what, if you kind of look at the marketing pre-High Republic, this was it. This was going to be the one that, was going to send us to the next era. And for the young generation, it didn't really pick up. Everybody ran to the comic book stores to get the #1 edition, the variant covers and stuff. But besides that,
cover books and first edition.
It's just and it's tapered off. The sales have not dramatically dropped off, but it's not the big push. And so, if you have the secret sauce is the Clone Wars and the different clones, keep making it. Yeah. So
I could see Cam's point of them being scared, but like I said, I look at it to where it's like years ago I was like, you guys could sell EU books still without just the Legends. Like, you guys could do more stuff. No. Like I said, this is the train. Everyone get on, and if you don't like it, too bad. This is Star Wars.
I think you might see that branch off in the next couple of years.
That's what I'm kind of getting at. It's like, I told you guys so. Anyways, after the Bad Batch, man. Next big piece I think might have been from a few weeks ago. We were talking about the potential. Someone had mentioned that they had heard about, I think it was an Inquisitor cartoon. And that helps us transition because we were like, maybe not. It only kind of seems to make sense that an Inquisitor might show up maybe in Obi-Wan Kenobi.
So it was a live action show, not a cartoon. But
okay.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Mike, what are you hearing about Kenobi and Inquisitors?
Okay, so we've kind of mentioned for a while now that we're pretty confident that there was at least one Inquisitor in the Kenobi series. And I forget
specifically Moses Ingram.
Yes,
sorry,
Moses,
there you go.
Yes, there we go. Okay, and we're pretty confident that casting there. But now, from what I've heard and everything, is that there are multiple Inquisitors in Kenobi. The big hiccup when bringing the Inquisitors in was literally the technology for the lightsabers, because of course in animation they have it's like a cylinder shape, where handles on the inside and it can rotate. And in animation, just draw it up and it'll work, and stuff like that. But in real life, and to make it the quality that Star Wars has, that was a tough sell. That was a tough one. And I know that there was a lot of trial and error into building the type of Inquisitor lightsaber, and so they've got it basically. They got it perfected, and from what I've heard, it looks amazing type deal. But there's now from because filming's going on right now, and they're shooting in Los Angeles, also shooting in Pinewood Studios, and so they're basically all full steam ahead with everything. But there's definitely more than one Inquisitor in the Kenobi series.
Makes sense. Cam, what do you think about almost, we'll say all but confirming we're going to be spending some live action time with Inquisitors? You excited about it, dude?
I mean, yeah, because I want there to be enemies for Obi-Wan to kick their ass. That's kind of vital.
Without spinning his blade around ridiculously?
Yeah, I'm not keen on that, and I'm therefore not keen on the whole spinning blades the Inquisitors had either. I really don't get that. It's like, why does a blade spinning make it cooler? I don't really understand. Or the wee guy who did use these thing like a helicopter in one of the Rebel shows, and he used it like a helicopter to glide down. And I thought,
oh wow,
my
I don't think
brain
we'll get
was just
that.
going, the physics of that cannot happen with a one-bladed thing. If such a thing was possible, humans would have.
Or is he force sensitive? Was he using the blade as like a rudder?
Yeah,
they are force sensitive.
They are force sensitive, so maybe
they can use the force. I mean, that way.
Maybe it was like a rudder, and somebody just didn't know how to that.
Maybe
that type of stuff is exactly why I'm glad I didn't watch all of it.
That was a good episode, actually.
It was really good episode.
So seeing them live action, Mike brings up a great point with the whole lightsaber design, because I was thoroughly impressed by how much effect went into the dark saber, how much practical effect is in that device for when it's just there looking pretty. Really amazing, right?
Yeah.
And so seeing stuff like that will be interesting, but I know in the animated thing, for some ungodly reason, they went with the toothpick lightsaber look in Rebels, where the lightsabers are these really itty bitty cylinders coming out of almost 2-scale hilts, and it just looks weird. So I'm wondering how it will translate on screen when you're used to these particular characters having a much smaller blade. What do you think, Mike? What are you looking forward to most out of Inquisitors in live action? Obi-Wan fighting?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're talking Inquisitors, the Force lightsaber comes the most popular thing with the Inquisitors. So seeing the mechanics of it all, and the choreography of it, using one lightsaber, so they can activate just one side of it, so they have just a single lightsaber. Then they can do the double-bladed lightsaber, and then they can put it into motion, similar to what we saw in Rebels / what Grievous, General Grievous was able to do in Revenge of the Sith, and that helicopter spin. So, I mean that, and then I hope they kind of do some sort of backstory on the Inquisitors, and of each individual one, how they became, because that's I think was a big selling point for Jedi Fallen Order, was seeing how Vader was able to capture some of these force sensitive kids and then basically break them down and convert them into his slaves almost and everything. So I think I hope we get to see a little bit of that.
Like I said, it's interesting just on the effects side alone, and modern choreography, hopefully going with some of the people they've worked with on other things. What do you guys think about the chances of seeing Vader fight Inquisitors in this? Like, maybe even not necessarily to defend Obi-Wan, but like a no, he's mine type moment almost. Do you think we might see Vader versus some Inquisitors, or maybe even have, because we know during this time Vader is antagonizing the Emperor as well, and the Emperor has even tried to off Vader in the comics and things. Do you think maybe we'll see anything like that, some Vader and antagonism with the Empire?
No, because I think the way they've always kind of put the Inquisitors so far, as we've seen them, they're very subservient to Vader, and they're nowhere near trained to the level that Vader is, or that a Jedi is, because they're kept in a lower rung than that. So I don't think any of them would even consider challenging Vader, to be honest. It's not, I think that's how they've got round the whole rule of two thing. The point of, if you've got all these dark side Jedi, really, then, would you not be back in the same, situation as you were before? And I think that's the idea, that they're given the basics to do a job, and they're basically treated like an army, and that's it.
Yeah.
Mike, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I say you're pretty much on point with that one.
I don't know them that well, so I wasn't sure how powerful they could be or could not be. We shall see. It's fun to get some information about Kenobi. It's interesting because after the break coming up here in a minute, we're going to talk about scheduling of these Disney shows, and Obi-Wan's one of those that we've been kind of wondering, when will we see it, how much shooting has been done, and then it was really weird when we were like, wait, are they really saying that Fett, Obi-Wan, Andor, and Mandalorian all seem to have maybe used the volume in the same week? Like, it's weird. But before we get there, let's take a word from our sponsors over at Grow Generation real quick. Take it away, me.
Grow Generation, where the pros go to grow. Grow Generation offers the best deals and discounts on the best grow products on the market. Grow Generation serves customers across the nation and carries a wide inventory of renowned cultivation brands. Go to www.growgeneration.com, where the pros go to grow.
All right. So what's up next? Book of Boba Fett, right? And I just mentioned all those shows that we heard rumors. It was about a month, maybe 2 months ago that, Andor had some Book of Boba Fett stuff going on while it was in the volume, or Obi-Wan may have been at the set of an Oceanside set, I think it was, that Andor used. And you start getting all these rumors that Lucasfilm is sharing filming time and space, which, fuck it, why not? Dude, we got Book of Boba Fett, and then that's December, right?
Correct.
And then spring 22, we have what, Mike?
Looks like we're going to have Mandalorian season 3, and that is a complete shocker for a lot of people.
Massive, because we've been sitting here racking our brains figuring out when, where, how, and what has been going on. We kind of got that feeling that they were maybe filming stuff that they knew wouldn't change, and that's why we heard those things months ago, but maybe not. Maybe all the changes and worry did happen, but was already done by the time it was leaked. What do you think's going on with this, Mike? What are you hearing?
Okay, so it's not just us, but like there's other scoopers out there or news outlets out there that have basically come out and said that Mando season 3 has been filming. That they're doing stuff in little bits here and there, while they have, because I think it's pretty much guaranteed, or not guaranteed, but pretty much everyone knows that at some point in time, Din Djarin's going to be in the Book of Boba Fett because they're treating it as a season like 2.5. It's going to be mainly focused on Boba Fett, but Din Djarin's going to be in there. So Pedro, probably shot some scenes there. They probably said, hey, we've got, time volume. Let's just do these scenes real quick, knock it out that way. And also too, is that there's time available that they have to shoot at the volume. Andor shooting over in Scotland. Some of Kenobi's being shot over in Pinewood Studios, and so everybody thinks that everything's in LA. Yes and no. It's an organized thing, but what I've heard and what we're seeing is that there is this massive push to have everything ready to go for next year. That just kind of like what we're seeing right now with Marvel, the year of Marvel and Disney Plus, that we're getting, this year of Star Wars. And a big push and a big pressure was by moving Star Wars Celebration up from August to May, so it would not compete with D23. When that happens, you have to have a product to sell at these conventions for people to want to come and see panels. So we know that Kenobi's filming now should be relatively, filming should be, wrapping up with, next couple months or so, depending on how much needs to be done, reshoots and so forth. Okay. And so you have Book of Boba Fett that's going to be in December, right? That's already, set in stone, December. So we're looking at December, January, maybe February.
Right.
Andor's been shooting for a while. We're thinking that, that Andor is pretty much the one that's going to be next to the project. So after Book of Boba Fett, we get Andor. Okay. Now, when I say spring, this is based off of a couple things. Number one is that we've, our LRM along with the other outlets out there saying that there's been shooting going on for, season 3 of Mandalorian. Then there was the leak by Random House, for a graphic novel for, Boba Fett coming out that had the key description saying Book of Boba Fett coming out in December or December 2021. And then Mando season 3 coming out spring 2022. And, sometimes that information gets, given a little early and then, than they would like. And, sometimes books, publishers send it out and then things change, which, more than likely happens. But with everything that we know, with that coming out, with Star Wars Celebration being May 26th through the 29th, you have to have something that's going to be the big highlight. Every Star Wars Celebration I've gone to and covered, there's been a movie to go along with it, except for the originals, I think 1 through 5. So Celebrations 1 through 5, and 5 had Clone Wars premiere. I think it was like one of the last seasons before Disney bought it and stuff. They did the premiere, so you have to have something to show off for it. So I think we're gonna get a trailer for, say, Kenobi, but we're gonna get the premiere episode of Star Wars of the Mandalorian season 3 during Star Wars Celebration. So that's my guess. But remember, when it comes to all this, it can change and everything. Yeah. But I definitely think now, from what I've heard, from what I've seen now, we're getting Mando season 3. And I think it's going to be something similar to how we found out about Book of Boba Fett being, revealed to us, where it was at the remember, it wasn't part of the Disney Investor Day, announcement. They wanted to keep a shocker, for the end of Mando season 2. And so I think when we see the end of Book of Boba Fett, it's going to be like, boom, we'll see you in a couple months. I mean, look at what Loki season 2's, premiere. I think that's what it's that's the new thing now for Disney is we're going to shock you by showing you, hey, we've got this ready to go, or hey, you thought this was only going to be one season and now we got another season coming up and everything. So Mando season 3, and so a lot of people are like, well, how's Pedro filming, when he's doing, what is it, The Last of Us?
Last of Us, yeah.
So it's very easy to have his stunt double with the mask on, and then later on have Pedro come in and do a couple hours of ADR, and we're done there. Everyone else is available. So
and we all know how much Disney is into using stunt doubles for an entire film, and digitally adding people in later. Recently, it happens a lot.
A lot. I mean, everyone said that Luke Skywalker would never come back.
So yeah. What do you think, Cam? Man, we kind of figured that it would, be maybe after and/or maybe after Obi-Wan at the latest, but the idea that it might be just around less than a year away now. What do you think about that, bud?
Yeah, it's a strange one because, I would have figured, obviously Book of Boba Fett, then maybe Kenobi, and then maybe Andor. But Andor is taking a long time to shoot, isn't it? Considering it started before Obi-Wan, they're not using the volume. So with all the location shooting that's going on, it just seems as if that one's taking a long time. And I've heard rumours that it might be a long series. It could be like hour-long 12 episodes or something like that. Again, it's all just rumour, but that's kind of roughly what people are kind of speculating, because it's taken so long to film. So who knows?
Could be shooting some of season 2 right now, because remember, Andor is going to have 2 seasons.
Yep.
I mean, they could basically be saying, all right, we're going to truncate it, or shooting, we're going to do this for season 1, and then hey, we got everybody to together, so we'll do season 2, some stuff for there.
That's a real possibility. I find it so fascinating how we can sit here and look at things, whether it's others' information that we are given or come upon ourselves, and then apply a train of thought and come out really, really close to the truth. And yet other people that just spout off bullshit just worshipped, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Anyways, throw us some love and hit that follow and subscribe button so you guys can get great, reliable Star Wars news and opinions. Because, yeah, we do give those. We all have things that we would love to see and things that we wish we wouldn't see ever again. Like last week's Rick and Morty. Oh, my God. Yeah, are either one of you, I know it's not Star Wars, but are either one of you guys watching this current season?
I've never seen any of them.
Okay. You've seen it, right, Mike?
A couple episodes, okay. Not too many yet.
For those that might be into it, it is insane that I think it was the week before's episode. It is almost a carbon copy of what we just saw in Loki. Not lying. No, it's insane.
It wasn't
I don't want to spoil any.
Waldron, was it? Because he obviously is a Rick and Morty writer.
Is he? Did he write that episode?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he wrote that episode. I don't think so, but that's where he started. Was writing Rick and Morty.
Season 5 IMDb. I had heard he had written some cartoon. Maybe I knew it. Maybe I blocked it out. I'm not quite certain. Let's see. No. Harmon, Roiland, and Lundy wrote it. Archer, Gray, and Tesoro were the directors. So it still that's actually kind of even more upsetting, because now it's kind of like, hey, Disney, do you know what Waldron might have been feeding these, right? Because I'm telling you, the multiplicity episode, it's crazy. It's crazy. I can't say anything because it'll give away Loki's spoilers, but it's crazy. Yeah. That's anyways. The whole Star Wars thing is great though, with the way things seem to be going for TV. I might not be happy with every show. I'm definitely not the audience for the animation that's coming out, which is fine. I still would like to see different things. You know, I'm always throwing out Powerhouse Animation to be like, do Power Rangers, fucking do Mega Man, do anything, you know, just take a property that's not being, how bad, imagine Rockman, Mega Man from Powerhouse. Don't tell me that's not just like already like, yep, take my money. I'm signing up for Netflix 4K for that. But
listen, I've never understood why there wasn't a Legend of Zelda movie.
Yeah.
Or anything like major cartoon animation wise and stuff.
But I never thought we would see this amount of live action Star Wars. Never in my life did I think we'd be here.
I mean, we grew up in an era where it was books and comic books and
your action games figures.
That we had.
Yeah.
Yep, action figures. Yeah.
Because the movies were movies and TV shows were too expensive to make, really. Yep. You know, and you know, you couldn't do that. You know, I mean,
remember for a long time, Lucas would come out and say, "Yeah, remember a long time, Lucas in the late '80s, early '90s was trying to work on a Star Wars TV show, but it was just too expensive. It was just he couldn't get the budget for it and stuff, and so
I had gotten it. Yeah. I'd kind of gotten excited there in the early 2000s when Battlestar, the reimagining from Ronald Moore.
Yes. Ronald D. Moore.
Yeah, yep. I know. First Contact. I like it too. Calm down, Trekkie. This is Star Wars. No, I'm joking. Anyways, I got really excited because that to me was Rogue Squad. That was what was in my mind. I was like, you guys can do it now. Let's fucking get this Rogue Squadron shit on the road. And because it was, and everyone I know that is into sci-fi and actually watched the show. I know people that didn't watch it, but I don't know anyone that hated it, you know? And it really did push sci-fi TV into the 21st century in my mind, both with the seriousness, grounded like seriousness of both the politics, the socioeconomic stuff. Like, it was dark and gritty, man, and the war part as well, all with this fantastic sci-fi background. And yeah, things might be hit or miss with Star Wars, but I gotta say, overall, I'm optimistic about getting some really good time in the galaxy far, far away. I don't know. What do you think? Final thoughts, Mike, on the week's news and stuff.
Kind of what you're going on. I think for a long time, Lucas and then Disney thought that Star Wars had to be lightsabers and Force users and somebody with the last name Skywalker. And I think what The Mandalorian proved was that we don't need that. We can literally take a character that no one knows, put him in that same galaxy, give him a mission, a job, and people will grow attached to it,
100%.
Because the first scene of a lightsaber was the last. Oh, okay, you have the dark saber that came at the very end of season 1, and then
Ahsoka,
and then Ahsoka and stuff was season 2. But Ahsoka was more of like, this is to appease all those fans of the Clone Wars that stuck around for so long and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think Lucas had it in his mind, and I don't blame him. It was his creation, but because everything that he basically, gave the okay to had to deal with Vader or Luke Skywalker and stuff. So, who's the character that he absolutely despised? Mara Jade. That's the one that he will. It's gotten to a joke now, whatever. But yeah, so it's good to see that Disney, with the help of Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, expand to a different element. We have the Bad Batch, which is 100% just a Clone Wars, Clone Trooper show. No lightsabers, no Jedi, and people seem to enjoy it. There are bits and pieces I'm liking from it, but at the same time too, it is exactly like every other Star Wars animated show. The first season is a drag, and then once we get into like season 2, season 3, all right, now we're picked up with everything. So
what is it with Filoni and that, man?
Because he's got to introduce new characters in all those introductory shows.
Mando,
that's kind of the way.
Why not animation? Because I hear the same thing for all of the shows that he's done.
You can skip.
Well, maybe that's his.
I guess.
Like it's his
his
feeling.
Style. Yeah.
His, that he sometimes takes a little bit long, and maybe what Favreau kind of added to it was by him being the one that came up with Mando, was the two of them working together, kind of sped it all up a little bit and brought it together.
That's true.
It could just be an element of that. Plus, I kind of feel like when you're doing proper drama, which live action is, you're kind of aiming at a higher standard, right? So when you introduce a character, you don't need to do as much to tell people this is a cool character. Whereas in the animated, I feel like they hammer you over the head with a new character and you go, all right, this person's going to be sticking around for a little while, then we're going to be seeing them again because, they have an entire episode devoted to them. And you can't do that because you're not 16, 17 episodes of a live action show.
Right.
Yeah. Anyways, carry on, guys. Mike, any more thoughts on any of the other topics?
And then the upcoming stuff I'm really excited about. And I know things can change, so I'm not going to be like 100% we're getting Mando season 3, spring and stuff. I know after the whole debacle with, us with the Mando trailer, I said I would never cover anything to do with the date anymore. But this one seems just like everything's aligning up in the right stance. But, so... I hope we get a kind of a shocker that we've been getting. I think Disney Plus has been good for Marvel and for Star Wars. With Loki ending, and now we've gotten I think, Loki might have been able to be a film, in a sense, but you would have cut out a lot.
You miss a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So to have it as Disney Plus here, let it to be hours and some change long and stuff. You get to I was a kind of a fan of Loki. Now I'm a bigger fan, because of this show. Same thing with Star Wars. I I like kind of Boba Fett, you know, because everybody else did, but it wasn't my favorite character. Now, because of Mando, it's, you know, I have a new love for Boba Fett and the Mandalorian, you know, saga and everything that's going on. So Disney Plus has been good for both Star Wars and Marvel, and so I'm excited for what we're getting in December, and then hopefully 2022 we're just sitting here every week just breaking down episodes and all fun stuff, you know, here. Yeah. And it's just Star Wars Celebration and everything, so I'm looking forward to it all.
Because for certain, Cantina Reviews will be back for the next live action show, Book of Boba Fett, every week, and if we need to have a news Cantina weekly, then we will. But when we're doing reviews, usually there's not a.
Do you think they'll go with Wednesdays?
Well, they've said they're going for Wednesdays now as the new date for everything for Disney Plus. So
that'll be really interesting.
Mm-hmm. So we'll get with the logistics later. Cam, you missed out last week, man. Wrap us up with your final thoughts on the items today and kind of what you're just looking forward to, and your thoughts on the future of the franchise.
You know, I mean, I'm enjoying the Bad Batch in terms of it's ticking me over for my Star Wars fix at the moment, but it's not what I'm really waiting for. You know, I can't wait till we see Book of Boba Fett. Just as Mike said, you know, and I know you're the same, Kyle, we were never fans of Boba Fett, didn't see the big fuss about him at all. And
yeah, he looks cool.
They needed to do something with him to give us something to kind of like him about, and you know, they did that in the Mandalorian season 2. So just looking forward to seeing how this crazy stuff's all going to come together.
Absolutely, you know, Boba Fett, he was a cool guy, but he definitely picked a much less cool way to die. That was like the best line in that whole Black Widow, but this is a much less cool way to die.
Yep.
Oh man, Florence Pugh, what a treat. If anyone has not seen Fighting with My Family, see it. Like,
great
even
movie.
If you don't like wrestling, my wife doesn't give two flying about fracks. There you go. About wrestling. She watched the whole movie fully engrossed in the characters and the story. It's just a really good sports drama, you know. So, anyways, my final thoughts I've given throughout the show, so I'm just gonna start wrapping up, plugging things away. The YouTube channel, guys, LRM online on YouTube. All of our Genreverse podcast shows go up there in video format or with a still frame, but you can still listen to the audio there. Please hit subscribe, because we also have a lot of great interviews with celebrities. We just talked to some Black Widow cast, to a Black Widow cast member. I'm not going to say too much because I don't know who's listen to what. Some people can really unplug from the internet when they really don't want to hear spoilers, and then they see
spoilers,
Hot
right?
Toys on their Facebook page, and you're just like, anyways, they didn't have to show that much in that much detail. They literally could have just shown us like a shot of the computer chip like texture and the new black and gold color scheme. They didn't have to give that much, because there is so much on that suit. I'm mad. Anyways, we try not to do that to you guys, and they give you fair warning with all the things that we report on. So please do check out the YouTube channel. Check out LRMonline.com every day for all of your entertainment news needs and opinions. And of course, wherever you're getting podcasts from in audio format, all these great shows, Marvel show, Star Wars, Anime Versal, and the Anime Versal Midnight Run, where me and my wife play with puppets and talk about animated or Japanese animation with spicy content. M, not X. Okay, guys, I have some class. Little. Anyways, and then the Daily Cup of Genre and Breaking Geek Radio. So yeah, Mike, where can people find you at, and what do you do for us?
Listen, you can always message us at LRM_exclusive on Twitter. I'm finally back on Twitter. I've started to jump back onto the social media, and so I got back on my account. It's LRM_Shockey. So if there's something on here you totally disagree with me, with me, go ahead and message me on there. We could have a debate on there.
Nice. Cam, yourself, bud.
You can find me at LRM_Cam.
There you guys go. I do the Daily Cup of Genre and the anime shows and a few other things here and there. You guys can find me at that Kyle Malone on Twitter, at that one Kyle Malone on Instagram. Thank you guys so much for listening this week, and we'll talk to you next time. May the Force be with you.